how do people like Iman Gazzi, Alex Hormozi, Samuel Onua, or Jacob Leveringrad, Richard Yu, or me generate over €1 million a month? Is there like some secret sauce or something that you don't know about? Actually, there is.
And I don't like to gatekeep, so in this video I'll reveal the single most high leverage thing that you can do in order to scale to multiple 6 or even 7 figures like we do a month with one single thing. If you didn't know me already, my name is Menno Wieringa and I'm the founder of Forge Waters, where we run marketing and sales departments for our portfolio businesses generating over €1 million a month. And in this video we'll be going over recruitment, the application process and the onboarding of A players. And at the end I'll actually give you my secret weapon of how we put this whole A player team building thing on steroids. Okay, step 1 is obviously the recruitment process, because first we need to find the right people. There's 2 ways of doing this. Either you already know a specific person in your niche or in your market who you know is very good and who you really want on board. Like in this case, what I do is, first of all, and I do this anyways, is make sure that everybody's always talking positively about you and your company. And then you just need to figure out what exactly that specific person of yours wants out of life, like their wants and needs and how much money they want to make, etc., etc., and then make them an offer they can't refuse. Simple as that. And then the other way, which is probably more applicable to most of you, is to get a very high applicant flow. So getting loads of applicants can be done in different ways, such as utilizing your network, setting up a recruitment funnel, or social media posts, or looking in the network of your current team. Personally, most of my A players and the really good people inside of my teams have always come from network. And as soon as that is exhausted, I go to the network of my network. So I just enter a new networking territory. And after that, we usually set up a recruitment funnel. Now, if you want me to make an in-depth video on how to actually set up a recruitment funnel properly, step by step, to get the most high qualified applicants for the cheapest price, then just comment it down below. I can actually make a video like that for you guys. But now that we have a lot of applicants, we still need to figure out who the right person is and select them. So that is step 2. So let's say, and I hope this is true for you, that being on time is a big thing inside of your culture. You obviously can't be late to the interview of your application. At least for us, this is a big no-go. So what we do, for example, is schedule our interviews at irregular times, such as 11:27 or 3:58. And this makes sure that they're actually punctual. So we'll see if they actually show up on time. Now, a big thing that we look for inside of the interview is actual track record. Because if you want people to take on a lot of responsibility, you want to be sure that they can actually take on this responsibility. Now think about it. If somebody is really as good as they say they are, they should probably already have generated some sort of results, right? Otherwise they're not as good as they say they are. So just saying you're good at something or showing you did a course or something is not good enough for us. And then there's one more thing I really look at in interviews, and that is the goals and aspirations of the people in front of me. In order to build a long-term healthy relationship with these people, I need to make sure that my company can function as a vehicle for the team members to get to their dreams and goals. So I need to understand their dream situation, and if I am actually with my company going to be able to get them to that situation. If not, there's no possibility for a long-term healthy relationship. The last thing I closely examine is if they are a good culture fit. So if they are not a good culture fit, if they don't properly fit in the culture, it will never work for the long term, and that'll also be a short-term play. And keep this in mind. The short-term plays in terms of recruiting people are never worth it, because the time that goes into recruitment, managing, onboarding, training these people is never going to be worth it if they are not staying with you for the long term. So what actually happens if you don't have a culture fit? Like 3 things can go wrong. They drag down the team by not obeying the cultural rules or laws within your company. Second thing is that they start performing less and less over time because they are not energized and motivated by the rest of the team and their colleagues. And the third thing is that they simply leave your company early because they also feel it's not a fit. And all of those things will make sure that it's not worth the investment into recruiting, managing, and training those people. Now, after following all those steps, we have the right people to actually onboard into the team. But there's one thing that nobody talks about and nobody actually realizes, but it's extremely important. And that's to actually make sure to manage the expectations of the people before they join your company. I don't hire anyone who expects to make way more money and work less hours than their position allows to. Like, this might be okay for a couple of weeks or maybe 1 or 2 months, but eventually this will fuck everything up. So how you manage expectations plays a very big role in how the people will actually perform once they're onboarded and actually active in your team. So we render this into the onboarding process very heavily. And the onboarding process is also the last thing I want to talk to you guys about before revealing my secret weapon to put everything you've learned in this video on steroids. Okay, click somewhere on screen or check the link in the description if you want to see the full breakdown of this automated onboarding system. But in short, it should entail an introduction to your company, the culture and the expectations and values of your business, and SOPs around the tasks that they are going to perform, and just basic preparation and training for your company. Now, if you're not afraid to scale and you want to just scale everything like a madman, or you, like us, have a very big sales team and you constantly need to look for new sales reps, what you want to do is create a hot list. And a hot list is basically a list of people who have already gone through the whole application process, everything. You have already selected them, you know they are good, and they are basically the right fit for your company. You have a whole list of those, and you can just call these people as soon as you need them. So they will be on standby and ready to join your business as soon as you want them to join. This allows you to scale immensely fast and never be held back by a lack of applicants or a lack of the right people. So for example, for us, we scale sales teams really fast. And 1 week we might need 5 new sales reps, and then the next 2 weeks we just need 1. But what we don't want to do is be reactive and only look for the salespeople at the moment we actually need them, right? Because that reactiveness slows down our scalability immensely. So what we do is we create a hot list. This is a list of people who are all ready to immediately hop on board of the team and get started as soon as we call them up. So they're all pre-qualified. So those are all the things you need in order to hire the right people consistently. But in order to scale your business, you also need to properly manage those people. And in order to do that, we use data and KPIs. Now, if you want to know the steps that we take in order to generate over €1 million a month in terms of data to manage these people, just click anywhere on screen. In that video, I'll explain exactly how we do this.